What's up, guys? So people were asking me to do a quick walk around of the vehicles I'm taking to Hogwaller tomorrow. There's a Talon. Only thing different here is I put the cut 618 Black Bears on there for the first time, AMX 618s. So these are the ones that I had professionally grooved, so they're a lot lighter and more flexy. These have the tire pressures in them still. Don't want to forget to do that. I bought some brass brake pads for the Talon from, I don't know where the brand is on here. I got them from Wild Boar ATV, very pretty. I don't need them yet. The Talon has pretty thick brake pads from the factory, and they survived a lot of rides and a lot of mud already. I went to go swap them out and I realized I probably still had 30% on all my pads, so might put those on in a couple rides. So testing out these tires for the first time on there. I cranked the suspension up just a hair more. Thing's got some serious ground clearance. It's gonna go down some. I haven't driven it. I just changed the tires. So one thing I don't really like about this setup is how wide the offset is. So I'm really wide in the front. The back's fine. I just put little 1/4 inch shim spacers, but the front's a little too wide. So we'll see how that goes. Might break a tie rod or something. These tie rods are a lot bigger than the P1000 now. So that's the main thing I'm gonna be riding. Dismounted the Silverbacks. Here's the 300. I got it back on the mini Sherp tires. So we've already tested this, but what's different now is there's an axle paddle. And because there's an axle paddle—
in a 1/4 mile, turn left to stay on Donnelly Circle.
Sorry, my GPS is freaking out. Because there's an axle paddle now, it almost floats, right? Or does float. Hopefully it'll be floating and that'll find some rut, and it could be very capable. It could go through some stuff nothing else can go through. This thing was getting kind of hard. The thumb throttle was. You see that you see that pink fluid hanging from it? Pull up this cap, fill it up with ATF. Yeah, some dripped out down here, whatever. But now that cable's nice and lubricated and it feels like a fuel injected machine. Of course, it's got the torque locker in the front and a bunch of wheel spacers on the back, which everyone likes to laugh at. That's two sets of spacers, 2 spacers and an adapter. It works just fine. 300s are light and have no power. But in general, that works fine as long as you torque them down. So here's the 2020 Rubicon. Got it on 32-inch Aztecs. These are the wheels my Silverbacks were on, so I had to swap it all around. One thing about these wheels is they're the ITP severe duty dual beadlocks. It says they're a 5+2. You can see how far the tire sticks out. It's definitely a little bit more than a 4+3. So because of the offset, they do rub slightly on the right side. It's front interesting. Neither tire on the left side rubs, but on the right side, you see I was driving it around, that rubs there just slightly, and it rubs right here just slightly. So might do a little trimming or let it trim itself, but you can run the 32 Aztecs on a 2020 Rubicon if you run a true 5+2 offset wheel. These wheels just have a little bit too much offset. I also cranked up the preload on here about 3/4 of an inch, so that gave me about 1.5 inches more ground clearance because of the motion ratio and whatever. I didn't mess with the front. I wish you could take 3-wheelers to Hogwaller. So yeah, gonna get rid of those. I have a lot of respect for the 32 Silverbacks now that I've ran them for a while. They blow every other size Silverback out of the water, but they are too heavy and they do ride terrible. And I'm more concerned with things that work well all around instead of just performance for one situation. And my buddy Bo's getting these wheels, keep him begging for them. I wanted to put them on the 3-wheeler, but I like the hyper in the front, and these don't have the right offset for the front of a 3-wheeler. But yep, and this thing's not coming because it's a Turd. I did get a new muffler for the yellow Turd. Haven't installed it yet, maybe we'll do that today. But it's a pain in the butt because you buy the muffler and it comes with none of the heat shields on it. So your options are leave the heat shields off, which is how the aftermarket headers work, which is what I'm really tempted to do, or jack with all the little clamps and hose clamps and heat shields all over it and stuff. So I might just throw the sucker on there with no heat shields and see what happens. I'm supposed to tell you guys one other thing. The Talon 8-inch portals came out for it. I was real close to ordering them right away, but it won't fit in the garage and it would ruin it. I probably will do it eventually just to try it out. So I'm sure it'll be extremely capable. Something with this much flex and no belt and portals would be amazing. But turning this thing into a tractor would be a sin because it is a lot of fun the way it is. So took it to Durhamtown, did some jumps, did some high-speed trails, hill climbs, etc. Swap out the tires for these tires. Now I can go mudding. There's very few side-by-sides you can do that with because with most side-by-sides that would require changing out your clutch, retuning the clutch or something. You know, when you put portals on it, it becomes so slow and you add so much unsprung weight, 60 pounds per wheel with the 8-inch portals, you just turned it into a tractor. So it's stupid. I'll probably do it eventually, but I'm thinking I'm gonna wait and see how it works out. I'm very worried about the rear suspension with 8-inch portals because what's gonna end up happening is all that twisting force is gonna get put on this upper arm right here, which isn't that strong. It's great for this setup, but I don't know how it's gonna handle an 8-inch portal. there's a ball joint at the bottom. So all of that twisting pivot is gonna be on that upper, whatever, 4.5 link, 4+ link arm. Super ATV does sell some heavy duty arms and stuff like that. And unfortunately, they're probably gonna be necessary with those 8-inch portals. But I'm gonna wait a little bit and see how much trouble everyone else is having with them before I, you know, completely ruin this thing and make it not fit in the garage. Yeah, that's about it. I do have a 35% gear reduction in stock. People have been asking me to do gear reductions for them. I had like 10 people on the list. And of course, when it comes down to it, only one person had money. So I've got an extra gear reduction. I will not sell it, but if you need a 35% install in a 420 or 500, hit me up on the Mud Puppy Question and Answer Facebook page. Also something, just housekeeping, there's a little search thing, you know, a little like search icon, magnifying glass thing on the Mud Puppy Question and Answer page. Before you post on there, you could search. It would take you 5 minutes and it would save you from getting roasted by everyone on that page for posting the same thing that's been asked 100 times. That is all for now.